Good morning, everybody. My name is Eva Merloni from Europa, and I'm here today to introduce to you the topic of climate change in the context of the CLIMART 2.0 project. Because climate change, we all know that is a common challenge, and everybody must be on board, but still it's not perceived in the proper way from everybody. So it does not count with the support of all, right? And this is due to different reasons that might be connected with some assumption. First of all, that science is difficult and boring. Secondly, it's because climate change implies a strong change in personal behavior, and we know that it's easier to talk about something than doing something. So I'm conscious about the problem. So what? Take action is much more complicated than just being aware of the problem, right? And also, as the public conversation on climate change evolves, so too does the range of arguments used to downplay or discount the need for action. And we call this attitude, these arguments, climate delay discourses. And since they often lead to a deadlock or a sense that there are intractable obstacles to taking action. And they comprise many separate strategies such as individualism, technological optimism, fossil fuel greenwashings, and appeals to social justice and economic cost. But we know that is not the truth. So it's really important to preemptively warning the public about misinformation because it can help build resistance and inoculate against climate denial. How can we do it? We decided to design project aimed at fully involving the general public based on some key drivers. First of all, we work at school with the approach of train the trainers in order to be a more awarded and trained teaching staff that will continue spreading the knowledge also after the project ends. Then, considering the broad human diversity that we can find at schools, we decided to use different learning methodologies in order to draw the attention and stimulate participation in the widest audience possible, which is composed by different profiles, different backgrounds, different perception, and sometimes with low evidences at their disposal. And last but not least, it's really crucial to inspire the next generation leaders. And hopefully, considering the urgency that we have, also their parents, right, that are the current leaders. So therefore, we mix this scientific and technical knowledge with narrative and creative stuff. But let's see the scientific and technical knowledge, for instance, in the intellectual output number 1 of the Climate 1 project, the first project that we developed, in which in the tips of the outputs you can find the learning material on climate change, a very detailed guide that touch all the technical and scientific features of climate change. But we also use narrative languages and different methodologies, such as we used podcasts, also a manual on how to read a story, so in a narrative way, and also how to create a meta comic at school. And once again, if you go in the website of the CLIMART 2.0 project, in the intellectual output part, you will find all of these really useful outputs, such as the podcast, the storytelling techniques on how to create a story, and also a guideline on how to implement a meta comic in your own classes. So you can find there everything that is really useful. And what we used also creative and artistic techniques such as comics and theaters in the case of the first project. And once again, if you go to the website, you can see all the comics developed by the schools. So finally, the result that we got is that the teacher and students learn, elaborate, and absorb climate change issue in their own personal way, but always starting from evidence-based